Okay, this part is very long, but it's mostly videos and tables. So you would probably be good going through this on your own, watching all the videos and taking notes from the tables, but we'll go through some of it. Okay, so first part is about your shoulder once again. So picking up from the shoulder, your arm can do a lot of different movements, and there's a ton of muscles that help with that. So your three main muscles are pectoralis major, latissimus dorsi, and deltoid. And your arm can do flexion, extension, and adduction. You also have rotator cuff muscles. Rotator cuff injuries are super common, but these are synergists or fixators. So remember, synergists help the agonist muscle, and then the fixators help keep everything like in place while you're moving. They originate from the scapula, and they prevent dislocation. So kind of keep things in place. So supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and suprascapularis, and then these two are synergists. Okay, so here are some of them. Let's see what we can see. Pectoralis major, here's your deltoid. Coracobrachialis is in here. You have your triceps back behind, and then your biceps in front, and brachioradialis right here, or brachialis right here, and then brachioradialis coming down. So go through each of those and see what each does and try them out on yourself. Okay, and then let's see, some of these are the synergists. Let's see what we have, lats or not. Infraspinatus, teres minor, teres major, supraspinatus, deltoid's cut away there, one of the three parts of the deltoid, and coneus is here. So all of those are helping keep things in place, and you can see that they're all like duct tape strapping it in place. Okay, this is causing movements of the arm and forearm. So there's your biceps. This is your coracobrachialis subscapularis. I don't know if we've talked about that one. And then brachioradialis connects your humerus to your radius, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, radius. Okay. Doop, 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 doop. Please watch all those videos. They're helpful. And try out the motions. Okay, so then the muscles crossing the elbow joint, you have anterior and posterior muscles. So here's the anconeus I already pointed out. Brachioradialis also crosses, and the brachialis. So they cross the shoulder and elbow joint. Okay. Then you have movements of your wrist, hand, and fingers. So I think the rest of this PowerPoint is about that. So there's also anterior and posterior muscles in your wrist, hand, and fingers. They're divided into superficial and deep. So you're going to have different layers of muscles, just like on the other structures. The actions that your hand and wrist and fingers do are so movement of wrist, fingers, and thumb, including pronation and supination of the forearm. These are the muscles that do it. So pronator teres and pronator quadratus, what they do is in the name, they pronate the forearm. And then the supinator, you have that muscle, and it's a synergist with the biceps. Okay, anterior muscle has 5 superficial and 3 deep. And most of them, they help to hold the wrist in place and secure. Okay. And let's see what we have here. So you don't have any muscles in your fingers. Those are tendons. But right here's a muscle, and you have it wrapping around there. And then if you come back up here, this is the flexor carpi radialis. And then you have the flexor carpi ulnaris, so that hooks up to the radius and the ulna. Palmaris longus here. It's kind of like a Spider-Man situation there. And then we have, where are we? This is the brachioradialis that came off of your humerus. and your biceps brachii. Your triceps are over here behind. And then you have flexor digitorum superficialis. So these are the muscles that run your fingers, and along with the palmaris longus. But the muscles are up here; they're not in your hand. And there's other ones on the other side of your hand. Okay, so here we are on the other side. So you have your flexor digitorum superficialis. So these are going to run your fingers. You can see you have one running to each of your fingers. And then pronator quadratus right here to help you pronate your wrist. Where am I? And supinator up here. And then flexor pollicis longus. So you have a ton of muscles in there to help, because we have a really ability to use fine motor on our hands, right? So there's a lot of muscles that control that. And then here's your supinator, and just kind of the zoom out of some of those. This is the thenar muscle that runs your thumb. You can do thumb wars. Okay, and then posterior muscles, you have 4 superficial and 4 deep. So let's look at those. Okay, I think we looked at some of these, but here's your abductor to help you, where my abductor wrist. We saw inconius from another view already. Where are we? Extensor digitorum, I think we just saw too. Extensor indicis, extensor carpio-ulnaris. So anyway, these are all connecting to different parts and help run your hand. And then you have these little interossei muscles in between here, but the ones that actually extend your fingers are up here. Okay, let's see. So these are a table showing you which muscles are actually acting to do different, this is for your shoulder, to do different actions, which muscles are acting, and then the PM is the prime mover. So you can study that and try out these different actions and see what muscles you're using to do each of them. Okay, so these are the muscles of your right arm and forearm. So we're cross section right here. This is the biceps brachii, brachioradialis, that's your humerus, and then back here you have your triceps. So that's what it looks like front and back, and these are opposing muscle pairs. So if you're using your bicep and you're moving your radius and ulna up, then this is the prime mover, the agonist, and this is the antagonist. That's gonna allow you to move your arm back down and straighten it. And then this is your forearm. So pretty complicated, lots going on in here. You have all these flexors in here, and then these are the extensors, so they're color coding them for you. So they allow you to flex your hand and extend your hand. Okay, then your fine movement of your fingers. You have little, like the muscles that are in your fingers are not the ones that are moving your fingers like this. To grip, they help you with precise movements. You don't have any muscles in your palm, but there's a few in between these bones. So they help you do flexion and extension with your finger, like this way. Well, I guess it's abduction and adduction with your fingers. Okay. So yeah, adduction and abduction are going to be those small muscles. Okay, fine movements of fingers. So you have a hypothenar eminence, the ball of your little finger. You have mid-palmar, and then the thenar eminence, ball of thumb, mid-palmar muscles, the lubricals, and interossei that help extend the fingers. And they also do the adducting and abducting. So that's like flexion, extension. Abduction is, remember, being abducted, and then adduction is bringing them together, and then here's opposition. So you can do all these little fine movements with your fingers. Okay, so here they are. It kind of looks like a mummy. So you have abductor digiti minimi, flexor digiti minimi brevis, opponens digiti minimi, fourth limbrical, third limbrical, second limbrical. You've got the interossei that we saw in the last picture. So lots of little fine muscles that help you do some of those fine movements. And then the ones that are in charge of really extending your fingers are the flexor digitorum superficialis and those tendons that extend from your arm. Okay, here's another look at some of those. Those are the interossei. And then with the dorsal part. And that's it.